Hey everybody, what's going on? Mav here. This is Xbox Ultimate episode number 19. This is actually an episode that means a lot to me because we have some creators on here, some podcasters that have been around for a while that have invited me onto their show. I've actually been on one of their podcasts 3 times. And then I learned that this podcast has been going on for years. So I got a couple amazing guys here, and plus another, you can call him an insider from the industry as well. Also, we got my wonderful wife here, but I'm going to go around and do some introductions. We got some awesome topics as well to talk about. We're going to keep it fun, keep it lighthearted, keep it positive until these guys start talking. Then it's going to go down into a negative. No, I'm just kidding. So we have amazing stuff. First, I'm going to introduce, you've seen him here before. 3-bit. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Best day. I've been on a couple of shows today. But yeah,
I might have actually forgot to turn audio on again. Like I said, I was going to say hello again. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, hello. I was just saying I've been on a lot of different podcasts today, and it's good to see you guys. Yeah, I'm glad to be back for the second time.
Awesome, man. Yeah. You've been a busy guy, dude. And
Yeah.
we got also, I was on his show last night. It was a fun time. We had some interesting discussions. We ended up talking about one topic for about an hour and 20 minutes. That went great. It was awesome. And he's been doing this for a long time. I was familiar with him even before I got into podcasting because I followed him on Twitter. And everybody say hello to Xbot448.
Yeah. Well, first off, what's going on, everybody? It is really good to be on the Xbox Ultimate podcast. What is going on, Mav? What is going on? His lovely wife as well. Very talented, by the way. We were talking, kind of like behind the scenes before we went live. Mav, you put an incredible panel together. It is good to see everybody in the chat. And yeah, we did talk about something for over an hour, but there was branching off, though. There was a lot of branching off. Like, I think we made like a full collage of opinions last night, man. But it was really good to have you on. And again, like I warned you, man, I'm a big talker. I talk a lot. So let's see you.
That's why you're here, man. That's why you're here.
See you control all that tonight, bro.
I'll put the leash on. I'll just hit that mute button again, like I said, without anybody knowing.
Damn it.
Then we got a guy who has invited me graciously onto his show 3 times. I had to have him as one of our first guests. This is the 3rd week now that we actually have guests on the show. 19th episode, but only the 3rd week with the panel. And again, another guy that's been doing this for a long time. One of the original Xbox podcasters. I want to welcome everybody and say hello to PTK Blam, host of the Shop podcast. What's up, man?
What's going on, everybody, man? Your boy PTK Blam in the building. Shout out to you, Mav, you and your lovely wife as well for having me on the show today, man. So I'm just ready to dive into these topics. Appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys run up those likes for Mav. We need to go ahead and run them up. He puts on a great show, but once again, I appreciate you hanging out, man. And we here. Let's dive into the topics, man. I'm ready.
And then last, but definitely not least, especially in my heart, is my lovely wife, Caitlin. Hello, baby. How are you doing?
Hey, guys. What's up?
She's going to be keeping tabs in the chat, hanging out. And if she wants to chime in randomly with whatever she has to say, then it's going to happen. So, all right.
Does she have a mute button as well?
I don't dare.
That's a good question.
I don't dare.
He better not mute me.
I could try, but I will be muted in the house probably for about a week if I do that. So let's not even mention that possibility. If it happens, babe, I swear it's on accident. I swear.
Sure.
All right, so we're gonna go in how we start this show every week with the fun speculation of the week, where we like to dive into a interesting topic to say, hey, what if? What's possible? What might be? What could be? And this week, it's gonna be Halo. There has been rumors of spin-off franchises with all the Infinite rumors out there, with the plan of Halo Infinite and what they are planning to do with this whole 10-year scenario with Halo Infinite. There was also rumors of multiple spin-offs possibly in development or in the works of coming up with ideas for that. So we've already seen Halo Wars. It's a favorite franchise of mine, actually. But I want to go around the panel and think about what other Halo spinoffs could we possibly see from the franchise over in this next generation. There was 2 games that they said that was going to be part of this plan. So let's start with 3-bit. What do you think, man? You think what would you like to see from Halo going forward? What do you think they may be working on?
I think because the formula is already there for Halo Wars 3, was it 3? Yeah, 3 now. That makes sense to have a third game, especially as it's a very solid game for its genre. I think that game it's very hard to do for with controllers, and I think they found a way to really make it unique and make it fun for controller users and people who are interested in that genre. With that being said, I think the second game, if there is a second game, something like an ODST spinoff makes sense to me.
Mhm.
Um, where maybe ODST 2 or even something just a smaller game that's not necessarily focused on the Master Chief. I think they really want to save Master Chief for like the main Halo and then maybe introduce something else for like the spin-off games. I remember seeing a rumor about it a long time ago. And I think that makes sense to me. And especially because they're able to do a lot with they just created a brand new engine,
Slip
what's
space.
it called? Thank you. The Slip Space engine. And and I could see them building upon that for the spin-off games as well. So yeah, those are the 2 possibilities in my brain for what could possibly be.
ODST is actually one of my favorite Halo games because it's such a different experience than the other games. You kind of go in and you feel more vulnerable, right?
That
It's like this
soundtrack.
darker setting. It's kind of eerie. It's kind of quiet in the streets and stuff. The mood that the music sets and stuff. I loved that Halo because it was so
It
different,
was
but it was
different.
still the same. If that makes sense. So I'm 100% with you there, man. What do you think, PTK?
I'm listen. I'm right up 3 bits alley. I'm because I mean that makes sense. I mean, if you look at the engine, look at the story. The thing about Halo is that people don't realize Halo is a gigantic universe. Like if you read the books, like there's a lot going on, and it's as big as Star Wars. I would argue as far as the amount of people, worlds that are a part of that story. It's not just Chief. I know Chief is the mascot, but if you really do some diving in and go watch YouTube videos on the lore behind Halo. It's a lot going on, so they can go a lot of directions. But I think another Halo Wars makes sense. Like you said, that's like you said, one of the premier games in that particular genre for a console. That games like Gears Tactics, with those two in particular for Xbox, so that makes sense. ODST 2 or some side game that makes sense as well too. We actually talked about this on the Shop podcast like maybe a month ago. We just kind of brought it up pre-show that was something that would be really cool to see because I agree with you, Mav. That game was the vulnerability you felt. It was the game they brought back the good pistol too. Remember, they didn't have a good pistol until they brought that game back as well. That we was using the BS between Halo 1 and that game, the pistol. I don't know what they did to it, but they brought back the good pistol. You got to see Buck and just everything going on with their story and all these side characters. So that makes sense. And then, like you said, with the Slip Space engine and Halo Infinite, when I think Halo Infinite and just the name Infinite to me, that means first thing it means is open world. The second thing it means is there's a lot of different possibilities for this particular game. So I mean, who knows? I mean, it's a $500 million game, budget, movie type budget. So I just want to see more from them. But I would agree with 3-bit though, a ODST, some side story, as well as another Halo Wars. Makes sense in my opinion.
Yeah, the two games that I love. And another thing about Halo 3 ODST is that was the first iteration of Firefight,
Yes, you're right.
which
Right.
became a
Yeah.
huge part of the
Right.
franchise going forward, right?
Yep.
So,
That
they
was
could
pretty
expand
reach.
upon that in some
Mhm.
interesting ways possible.
Mhm.
All right, Xbot, your turn,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I know you got a lot to say about this.
Oh my goodness! First off, I like where you guys were going, and I am gonna go in a completely different direction.
Ooh,
Uh,
give us
knowing
something else.
Not
knowing
surprised.
knowing that they want to flesh out kind of like the Halo universe to the masses and stuff. We saw with Halo 5. If you look into the story, if you watch like the marketing and you listen to what was going on with their kind of like episodic marketing and stuff, you will find out that Oni, which is kind of like the CIA of the Halo universe, they're not really a stand-up corporation. They do some really dark things, stuff like that. So
Yep.
I'm
Like
thinking
Steel
more,
Kids, stuff like that.
yeah, stuff like that. So I'm thinking more in terms of a spin-off. Why not focus on Oni and have a darker story? Kind of like character in the shadows, what Oni is doing to progress like Oni's agenda while all this other stuff is going on. While Master Chief is trying to save the world from Atriox and his army, Oni has their own kind of like specific purposes, things that they're doing, kind of like in the shadows. So have kind of like whether it's like semi stealth, something like that, but being an Oni agent and trying to progress Oni's agenda while all this stuff is going on. I think that would be a really, really good spinoff. And Mav, I love this question because you made me think, and I wanted to think about something completely different. Now, Atriox and his army, the Banished, they are a very close knit, dedicated group, and they strictly follow Atriox. Now, if in this story somehow, some way, there was a rebellious group within Atriox's army that they're trying to foil things behind the scenes on what he's trying to accomplish, whether like they either kind of like work out a deal with UNSC or something like that, but kind of like those spies behind enemy lines type situation. And with that scenario, you can kind of like it's a group of mixture of alien races. So you have the grunts, you have elites, you even have a couple brutes or something like that, and have a story where they are behind enemy lines, and they're kind of like in that spy format, but they're also there to like screw things up for the Atriox army, and having a story arc of that group that is within the Banished. I think that would be an awesome spinoff as well, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, and if I could
I'm
add to that,
100% down.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I think to add to your point, I think whoever wrote Hunt the Truth needs to do
Yes.
that.
Oh, that was
Gosh.
amazing.
That
those
was
little
the best thing I've ever
snippets
listened
were
to.
Best
amazing.
thing.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
where you
both
really
both
found out
shows.
that Oni was still shady to this day. Like they were
Yeah.
still up to
Yeah.
stuff. Like yeah, and I would love to see that. Bring kind of like that darkness, little more realism. Like and I know what Halo Infinite they tried to graphically kind of hone back to the original Halo. I you can tell in the art style that that's what they were
Even a
doing.
color palette. Even a color
Yes.
palette they use. Yeah.
Yeah, but like to get darker, almost dirtier, grimier. You know what I'm saying? Have a character in the shadows, have a story that is kind of laced in the shadows, kind of like going around the border of what's going on and how everybody is trying to push the Banished off, but have Oni off doing their own thing with their own agenda and trying to, propagate that. I think that would be a really cool story. Yo, 343. Come on, guys. You got my email. I got a Microsoft account. Come talk to me, people.
And if you guys don't know what Hunt the Truth is,
Please
that
go
3-bit
listen.
was talking about, it is a podcast that was part of a marketing strategy for them before Halo 5 came out. and it went on for I don't remember how many episodes there
I
was,
remember that.
So
but
good.
each
So
was really
episode was long and it was juicy and it had this ongoing narrative. It if you actually had that written down in like novel form, it's one of the best like uh pieces of lore that exists in Halo. It's gripping. I suggest everybody go watch that. If you're a Halo fan, if you have, even if you're not, even if you just like a good like mystery story,
Mhm.
it's just a great listen. You can go from episode 1 all the way through, and you can get hooked on that.
Dude,
It's such a great
to me,
experience.
in terms of lore, it's right up there with Halo 4 and the story of the librarian. Like when the Master Chief meets the librarian and stuff.
Yeah.
That is one of my absolute favorite parts of Halo, to see the librarian and what she did with speeding up kind of like his evolutionary process, and her talking about, the didact and the forerunners and what they were doing and all that stuff. It's right up there with that, man.
Yeah,
that's
that
that's the
it gives
one
you
thing.
feels, man.
That's the one thing Halo has always sort of the sort of negative for Halo for me is the fact that they have these amazing stories that they don't tell in their games, that they tell in their story and in their novels and other side stuff. And I think the Halo 5 was a step in sort of the right direction, even though I didn't really like the story, where they finally introduced the blue team. And but they did it in a way where people were like, who is this, so I think um for the spin-off games and for Halo Infinite, it seems like it's going in a direction where I kind of like, hopefully we get more of that lore that makes Halo what it is.
yeah.
And also try different things. ODST is like a perfect example of where they could possibly go, like a side game. um Oni, show that corruption, show what Halo is capable of, because I think
Wouldn't
people have this image of what Halo is, but
Wouldn't
it
it be cool if they made a game? You know how all the stuff that transpired in the mainline Halos with Chief. If they made some type of game where you, Oni, whoever the case may be, showed up after all of that stuff transpired, like each step along the way with Chief, they pulled up after, and they were doing things after he went in and made,
love that.
that would be really cool. Like go up, they just followed him to each one of his situations, and afterwards they made changes and did different. That would be really cool too, to see how they went in and made changes. I just, off the top of my head, I was just thinking about that, but that was going along with what Xbox said about just owning and what the possibilities of the lore. But I agree with you. I think lore is a huge deal for me. I'm a Destiny player as well. That's the only thing that really kept me into Destiny when there wasn't much to do in the game. It was the lore. I used to watch the video. So if you can get people into the lore, and like I said earlier, I think Halo's lore, the universe rivals a universe as big as Star Wars, in my opinion, with
I
the amount
agree.
of characters and stuff going on. So you're 100% with that 3-bit for sure.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take my turn right now with this. So Halo Wars 3 is a must for me. First off, that especially with Halo Wars 2, they expanded upon the story in a really good way. Filled in the gaps that are leading us into Halo Infinite. Introduced new characters. Introduced a whole new army to worry about. Not even just one character. It expanded upon the lore. It brought back the Flood.
Woo.
So there is a lot going on with Halo Wars, not just with it being a solid RTS game, which it is. It gets overlooked sometimes because it's an RTS on console, but they nailed the controls with that. I think that games like this sometimes get overlooked. People that aren't into RTS or aren't used to playing those kind of games, that's what Game Pass is for, guys. Try it out. It's not going to cost you anything. Check it out, see if it's for you. At least maybe the story in between the missions might kind of hook you. If it doesn't, then hey, it didn't cost you anything. But if you're a Halo fan, it is definitely worth seeing if it's for you. You know what I mean? But besides Halo Wars, you have a thought that I've been having with a possible game, and this happened after the Bethesda acquisition. And
Oh.
I think some people know where I'm going with this, because I've said this before, and I've heard other people say this before. Okay, so we have id Software.
Oh, here we go. I knew it.
They make Doom, the other space marine, right? So
Make Halo.
could you imagine making a fast-paced Halo shooter? You're a lone wolf rogue Spartan that is off on his own. He is invading Covenant ships, taking out the Covenant. He's got an energy sword of his own. Walking around, he's got the shotgun. He's got the assault rifle. And imagine the Doom mechanics, but those are your tools.
Jeez.
Wow,
It works.
the no reload, the speed and strafing,
Yeah.
and
Just
But-
this Spartan's got speed abilities. Okay, he's got like a little boost and stuff. I don't know. Just think outside the box with that. Put it in that dark, creepy aesthetic inside the Covenant ships, where it's just you and your mission is to go in there and take out those ships and disable those guys. That's a possibility I have. The other one I was thinking about was going back to an origin story for the Master Chief. We've seen this in some of the other lore. It was in one of the movies that they had, where it actually
5-second cutscene in Halo 5.
Yeah, so you see Halsey go and pick out the kid, and then they bring him and they kind of show the training and stuff and all that. I want to play that experience.
Oh yes,
I want to play that experience of growing
That'd be
as
awesome.
Master Chief. I want to have him deal with the losses he dealt with, as a young Spartan in training, you can say. Somehow bring that out in a playable way.
There's one glaring issue with that. They're never gonna tell us what he looks like.
They did did as a kid already.
I mean, they described
You know?
him. I mean, but
Hey,
I guess
if you've seen that as a kid, they show him. They
Yeah.
show
Oh,
him
okay. Got
his face and everything. Like he's already got an image as a kid. As an
I've
adult,
seen that image when he was
So-
all beat up and stuff.
well, they show him as he's playing King of the Hill on the playground. He's
got it,
tossing
got it.
other kids off.
fighting the other kids. And
Yeah,
stuff. That'd be
so
really
they show
cool.
quite a bit of him. I mean, in the whole training, in that whole movie, pretty much he's without a
Yeah.
helmet, right? So it isn't until later, towards the end, where he finally gets to put that helmet on, right? So
See, I would see that, Mav. I would see that as like a really big kind of like single player story experience, kind of like that third person view
Oh
camera.
yeah. Third
shoulder.
person.
yes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
yeah,
And then
they
the
go
other-
on training missions. They go on little missions to train, and they have like these out of the box, like almost Hunger Games scenario type missions that they have to go do, right? And it's really interesting. I think it could make for an interesting game.
Yeah.
nice. And with
They-
that Doom one, because you said Covenant ships and stuff like that, I do like that. But that would also be a perfect scenario for the Flood, because the Flood, they just try to flood you. You know what I'm saying? You would have all the little Flood, the spores kind
Yeah.
of running at you, and then the bigger type enemies. That I think that would also go really good with the speed of kind of like the Doom mechanics and stuff. I think you're onto a couple things here.
What if there's a rogue Spartan that's so pissed off at Oni that he takes it back to them? What
Oh.
What would they do in that situation? Right?
Sheesh.
I just think
You
there's a
fight
lot
other
of
Spartans?
possibilities with
Wow.
this franchise that we could see fleshed out. That's the great thing about Halo. It's just got so much potential. Did you have
side-
anything you wanted to add with this, babe? Or
Oh yeah.
No.
I-
I don't.
This-
I love Halo. I don't ever play the story in games.
yeah, she likes the multiplayer.
I like multiplayer.
I know you wanted to see Battle Royale though.
Yes, I do. That would be cool.
Yeah, big
The
Fortnite fan. Were you gonna say
Side
something? Sergio?
Halos for sure can be third person. That's a good point. Like I don't see any reason why not. In terms of especially if it's a side Halo, they could take more chances with it. And also, I hope Halo Infinite, this is a side thing. I hope Halo Infinite has the Flood, which I think it does, based
I
on
hope it
the
does
lore.
too. I would hope it
Where installation 01 or whatever the ring is on with Master Chief is like a flood place. So I think there's going to be flood in Infinite.
They could do a
Sure.
pure horror game with just the flood and like an ODST on a ship, right?
Yep.
I
There's
mean,
so many possibilities.
there are so many possibilities. All right, what's going on in the chat, babe?
Not much. The indie gamer just dropped in.
Hey, Andy.
Indy.
What's up,
What's up,
man?
Andy?
Fugly's having some difficulties
He's having some difficulties.
with. Let me try and scroll all the way back up. He wants to know if anyone knows how to download the Elder Scrolls Online patch to play on my XSX.
Anybody know how to do that? If you go to manage games and add-ons, you can like check for if there's any
Updates,
updates
yeah.
listed there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would try that first, man. Is it not I guess it's not letting them play.
Well,
Weird.
that reminds me when they came out with the 1X, because then they had 1X enhanced games, and I literally had to go into my games library and check out the number, go to manage game, and there was like I forgot, there was a little like it was like either a 2-letter 1-number code or something like that I was looking for to make sure I downloaded the right version of that game, or that they updated my library, and if they didn't, I had to uninstall that game and then reinstall it, so this way the server would recognize that I'm installing it on a 1X and put in the proper version. Yo, Blam, you remember that, man?
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, it was a pain in the
Yeah.
butt.
I see. We also got the NLG guys there. We got Leonidas. We got Assassin Lupa. Let's see. Yeah, like you said, I see
Cam was in here a
Fugly.
little bit ago.
Yeah, I
and he went
saw
to
God's
bed.
Geeks in there. So what's up, guys? I appreciate all of you being here. It means a lot to me. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next topic. That was a good one. I like that. That was fun. I love talking about stuff like that because your mind just goes to lots of different places. All right, so this also involves Halo a little bit because it seems like we are getting something that's pretty interesting. Now, I could see there would be a lot of people that aren't for this, and we'll go around and kind of get everybody's opinion on it. So we have seen Kratos in Fortnite now, and the rumor's been making the rounds, and it seems like it's pretty legit that this is going to happen, where there is going to be Halo, there's going to be Master Chief in Fortnite making an appearance. It makes even more sense after we did see that the Kratos thing was real, and he's in there now. So what are your guys' thoughts on this with, video game crossovers, people being able on PlayStation getting to play as Master Chief, guys on Xbox playing as Kratos, video game crossovers. Is this something we need to see more of? How do you feel about Master Chief in Fortnite? We'll go around. I'll start with Xbot this time.
Oh wow, all right. You're gonna start with me on a tough question when it comes to that. So crossovers and having basically mascots from other platforms being playable, kind of like if you look at it in terms of competition, on the rival platform as well, with like third-party multi-plat games. First off, I have no problem with this. I thought it was hilarious watching Kratos do some of the Fortnite dances. I saw some of those videos, and it's funny, Mav. I checked out your live stream with the whole Galactus thing,
Yeah,
and
man.
and I saw Wolverine with a pink backpack on, and it just irked me, man. I was severely irked at that point in time. But at the end of the day, first off, I'm a gamer above anything else. I don't champion for a specific platform. Like I prefer to play on Xbox. I really like the ecosystem. I like Xbox Live. I have a pretty substantial library here. I have a friends list here. Xbox Live, in terms of connectivity, has always been really good with me, where I've had PlayStations where that was a little bit iffy and stuff. So I prefer to play on Xbox, but I am not going to be that type of person. It's like, well, Master Chief needs to stay on on Xbox no matter what. When it comes to third-party deals, we see it with Smash Brothers. I think Smash Brothers is really kind of rolled all that out to the masses, because Smash Brothers, has a huge huge community. And of course, when it comes to the characters, man, you got characters from pretty much all walks of life. You know, you got the first thing I think of is Steve from Minecraft is in Smash Bros as well. So I really don't have a problem with it. It's up to the companies at the end of the day, and you know, for anybody out there who likes to champion a certain piece of plastic, you know, don't get mad when these third party deals happen. You know, it's kind of like a neutral ground, and it, you know, it's gonna get maybe other gamers that didn't know that character or didn't really get into it. You know, they might all of a sudden form a connection with that character, and you never know, they might buy your preferred piece of plastic afterwards because they want to play that original story that character was in. So I don't really have a big, you know, it's not a big deal to me. I just want to know if Master Chief is full-fledged going into Fortnite, because I and I'm sorry for anybody who's a fan, I am not a Fortnite fan. I am not a Fortnite fan, and the only way to get me to play that game, all right, is to have like gear and characters that I can grind for that are from the Halo universe. So I need an absolute confirmation before I grab a season pass and start playing Bob the Builder Battle Royale. Okay?
Well, you're probably just gonna have to buy Master Chief. I think because that's what you have to do with Kratos. I don't think there's any way to unlock him. I think it's just available for purchase. I'm not 100% on that. But you can just get the battle pass right now and play as the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which that's pretty freaking awesome.
Oh, I heard the end of the battle pass, like the biggest thing you get Baby Yoda, right?
Yeah, it's like
you
a little
you get spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Everybody here, clog your ears if you don't want to know his name.
Grogu.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, trust me, I watched The Mandalorian, brother.
Yeah.
I watched that show. I
right.
didn't know what they were saying for, like, I don't know, like a good half hour
Yeah.
when they revealed his name either.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's actually, if I was being honest, that's my favorite Star Wars. I mean, I know it's a show, but you know what I mean? Like it just tells a better story, I think, all in all. All right, PTK. What's your thoughts on this, man? You okay with crossovers? You against like seeing Master Chief on other platforms, Kratos on other platforms?
No, I'm 100% cool with it. Like I said, like Xbox said, I mean, he pretty much. I honestly don't even need to say anything, but because I'm on the show, I am. But no, like I said before. I mean, the reason why it makes sense is for people like Xbox. You just hear what he said. The only way I'm going to play Fortnite is if Master Chief is in Fortnite. That's the reason why they put him in Fortnite. It's not that big of a deal. Like you said, it's more of a neutral ground. I always, and I know he brought up Smash Bros. As a reference, I always thought Chief should be in Smash Bros. Or why isn't he in Smash Bros? In my opinion, it always made sense. You know, even though I know Nintendo doesn't really share much, Nintendo kind of just gets everything. They don't really share. You know, they don't share Mario or anybody. That's never going to happen. But it just makes sense from a standpoint of, you know, how iconic he is, as well as just, you know, a lot of different things. You know, it just makes sense overall. And if you're that attached to a piece of plastic, you need to chill out, because this is not that big of a deal. There are thousands and thousands of people that play these games that may not have even ever heard of Master Chief at all, you know, or Kratos. So it just makes sense from a standpoint. And who is it hurting? Who is it bothering that these two characters are in this game? You know, if you don't like Fortnite, that's one thing, but it's not that big of a deal. It's nothing I'm losing sleep over. It makes business sense. These gigantic tentpole characters are going to bring more business to Fortnite and to Epic. I'm sure, you know, maybe Xbox as well as Sony are getting some type of, you know, recoup from that. I'm sure it wasn't for free. So, you know, at the end of the day, it makes business sense as well. It's not that serious. I love to see more Chief, more places. I'm cool with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. And Kratos.
Yo, Blam, I gotta say, when it comes to Epic, man, they are grabbing from every single pop culture, like, and they are just throwing everything into this game. Yeah,
this is the thing. The problem with Fortnite is that Fortnite is not a game anymore. It's a part of the culture. Fortnite is no longer just a video game. That's how I look at it. It's as much as a video game as Legos are. It's just Minecraft. It's a part of the it's so much more than just a video game. So to have your character attached to something like Fortnite, I mean, it's not gonna hurt at all, at all. You know what I'm saying? So it just, I don't know. I mean, people make a big deal about it. They can go do something else, but it's not that big of a deal at all.
What's up, 3-Bit? What do you think, man?
I think well, first off, I've taught kids who who was obsessed with Fortnite,
Oh no.
and yeah, and they knew all the dances and they knew all the characters and all this different stuff. So I know like what audience that is. It's a very loyal base, and bringing Master Chief to Fortnite, yes, it appeals to us as like hardcore Halo peeps, so people who just love Halo, but it also brings a whole new audience for kids who probably don't even know what Halo is.
That's
They're just
true.
like, oh, what's this character, Master Chief? And you know what? I think I'm not sure when this is going to come out, but I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be a part of the marketing campaign alongside Halo Infinite.
That would make
Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
and like you have all this you have like the cookies that come with Halo Infinite, you have the monster drinks, and the commercials and
Taco
all this different
Bell.
stuff. All this stuff was happening around the release of what was supposed to be Halo Infinite. So I'm thinking the plan was to also just be like also Fortnite. So the kids who play Master Chief on Fortnite can go and check him out right now on Halo Infinite. So I don't know when this is planned to come out, or maybe they're delaying it to sort of match it up with Halo Infinite. But either way, I think it brings a whole new audience to Halo, and it's also makes sense because the new Halo Infinite is free to play. Um, so that also brings a huge audience to people who wouldn't have tried Halo to begin with, and Fortnite is free to play. So it's just like, you know, it brings audiences of why not try it out.
Three bit. It's awesome that you say that because when it comes to Xbox, I see them on the business side of things. Transitioning with the wallet is what I've been saying. When it comes to xCloud, the kids that grew up on their mom's like cell phone or tablet or something like that, those kids are getting older. They are now transitioning to the ones with the wallet in the consumer space. They are the ones that are now starting to spend more money and stuff like that. So it would be a really great idea. Sony with Kratos. Because they're going to be doing their own streaming stuff in the very near future as well. Taking advantage of the small screen that these new consumers are used to playing games on, and to have Sony with Kratos and Xbox over here with Master Chief and trying to get them into that new consumer base, those people who are going to be spending the money, and even the younger ones that are like, Mom, Dad, I need this, I need that. You know what I'm saying? Buy me this, buy me that. If they can get those names into that consumer kind of like pool as well, I mean that you can see why they would put their characters here, especially with what Blam said, because I absolutely agree with Blam. It is no longer a game; it is a part of the culture, man.
Yeah, I agree. It makes
I,
me
wa-
feel old that I don't know those dances too.
I know too many of them. The ones that came out like the first year or two, anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hey, so do you want to read this comment that Fugly made a little while ago, babe? I thought it was pretty funny.
I don't know which one you're talking
But
about.
I'll read it. So he says, but in a different way to see it, Master Chief can kill Kratos and settle the console wars once and for all. No, that'll happen plenty of times, but I'm sure Kratos will end up destroying Master Chief as well. And then they'll do the loser dance over their dead bodies, and that'll
Well,
be
Oh, that
interesting.
happened to me yesterday. I
Yeah,
Oh
was
and then
wow.
my
Yoshi,
very last game yesterday. I was playing a match and I got killed by Kratos, and he was just dancing on top of my body.
yeah.
but then when Master Chief does that to Kratos, Yoshi's gonna come out of nowhere and just eat Master Chief. Just the tongue's gonna come out, it's gonna
Nah.
swallow him. That's gonna be it.
Yeah, we're not
Yo,
seeing Nintendo characters anywhere but Nintendo. That's not happening.
yeah,
Sorry.
right.
So good luck with that. Yeah.
So
It'll be a spinoff. It'll be like Yishi or something like that. It'll be like a knockoff.
They are very protective of their IP. That's
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
man.
I'm
Yeah.
actually surprised to see this. To be honest with you, so I didn't actually think that Sony would allow it. First off, and
That's
then
a good point.
now that we see the possibility of Xbox doing it. The last time I think we've seen something like this was like actually with Dead or Alive, where we saw each
Oh, wow.
platform had their own like mascot and Dead or Alive, right? But that was even console exclusive still.
Yep, the
Like
Xbox version had
you
one.
didn't see, Master Chief on freaking PlayStation and then the PlayStation characters on Xbox. Like this is new. This is a new thing. And I was actually when you're talking about that Fortnite stream you saw the other day, I actually mentioned during that stream like that this is something that needed to happen. With I didn't even know that it was going to happen at that time. It ended up being announced like later that night or the next morning. Like, there's no reason for fun things like this, and especially with like Fortnite. Fortnite's cool because in what other world or game can you have freaking Star Wars characters fighting Marvel characters, fighting DC characters, fighting
It
Borderlands
doesn't make
characters,
any
fighting
sense.
God of War, fighting Halo? It's like
John Wick.
it is like a pop culture entertainment hub,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Where everything kind of melds into one place, and the more they get, the better for me. And these kids that are playing it obsessively every day are getting to see characters maybe that they weren't ever familiar with. So for these brands, it's actually advertising for them
Mhm.
for the future to get these kids invested into their franchise. Hey, who is that? I'm going to go learn more about that. Oh, wait, I'm playing as Master Chief. Oh, what? There's a game where he's in on Game Pass. Oh, okay, let me go learn what that is. Halo hasn't had as much of a relevancy as it used to be, like the number one thing, right?
Mhm.
And now it's,
Yeah.
kind of like how Star Wars, you compare Halo to Star Wars, it kind of disappeared for a little while, but all the older guys talked about it, right? Then you had like the cartoons started up, right? And that kind of got those kids back all into it. And it started like this whole Star Wars thing is like, oh, hey, this is still relevant, right? Then you had the newer movies and everything like that. So um, there's a reason behind it. I think it's a good thing. And I don't think it needs to be just with Fortnite. I think it needs to expand to other franchises, to more things. There's no reason to hold everything so close to this. Now, your main core experiences, keep those exclusive, right? Keep those for your biggest fans to make them feel like they are invested in that device or that platform, and they're rewarded for that, right? So you can still have those things, but when it's just talking about a fun thing like this, let's see more of that. Let's see more inclusivity with characters spreading across genres, spreading across different kinds of games to other. Let's see more of it all across the board. What I don't want to see, and what I like what one of the guy in the chat, next level gaming, Peter, he said this earlier. Now let's say something's not relevant anymore, and they're just popping a character out there every once in a while just to kind of keep it relevant or whatever. And they don't have any plans of doing anything with this character recently. And he gave the example of like Banjo, right? But my example would be Sam Fisher.
Mm.
They
Yeah.
keep throwing his ass in every single Ubisoft game except a freaking Splinter Cell, and I'm
Yes.
sick of it.
Stop teasing me with Sam
Right?
Fisher.
Like
Yeah.
people want a game and they want it so bad, and then you keep throwing him out everywhere possibly
VR
besides an
mobile.
actual Splinter Cell game. So like
Microsoft definitely has the IP now to make their own Smash Bros. And they
Yeah,
could
man.
put him in there. Because when I think of Sam Fisher, I think of Xbox. I don't know if it's the green goggles or the fact that back in the
That's where you
day it
start.
Well,
was very
Conviction
heavily.
wasn't Conviction exclusive to Xbox, or which one was it exclusive? Wasn't there?
Very
Maybe that's why.
The
Yeah.
first I think Conviction was actually timed
Oh,
exclusive
was it
possibly, but the first four games actually were at least exclusive to some extent, right? And
Yeah,
then I think
original
they came out
was
like later to PlayStation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that franchise has close ties with Xbox, right? I would hope that continues in the future. Marketing rights at least or something, just because it seems like it fits, right? I think a
Yo,
lot of
Mav,
Xbox fans identify with Sam Fisher.
Chipmunk in the chat. Yo, shout out to
That
Andy.
better not be true.
He says Sam Fisher might be in Bugs.
Maybe he will, man. I don't know. We see him everywhere, and then they finally announced the Splinter Cell game, and it's a VR game.
Mm.
Oh
That
man,
hurts.
yeah,
It hurts my soul.
Yeah.
Anything else going on in the chat, baby?
Nope.
Do you want to chime in on this at all before we move on?
No, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, I agree that Fortnite is like pop culture now. Like, they're doing like concerts in the game.
yeah.
They're premiering like music videos, and these kids, like our daughter, goes nuts. Like, she screams and she gets on with all of her friends, and yeah, she's like obsessed. Just today, when I was doing my makeup, she came in and asked if we would buy her the latest pack that came out that has like Poison Ivy and the Joker, and
Ooh,
it's
that's in
like
there right now?
$30.
Wow, that's expensive.
Yeah, I was
But-
like, ask your daddy later.
Yeah. Well, to see how cool they look. I don't know.
Their events are amazing.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are.
They are.
I've never
Eh,
seen anything like that.
Yeah.
before.
I'm not a
Like their
Travis
concerts.
Scott fan. I don't listen to like his music or whatever. But that Travis Scott concert on there,
Yeah.
that event, that was sick.
It was
Like
crazy.
Yeah,
that
it
was
was cool.
crazy. Like that was one of the best things I've seen in a video game as far as like a community thing. Like
Yeah.
that was cool, man.
We've never seen anything like that. I don't think
Yeah.
ever on that scale. Like everybody simultaneously watched this concert all at once,
Yeah.
and it was
I
amazing.
was in the Black Hole not concert, but I was in the Black Hole event. And I didn't know what the heck was going on because
When
I didn't
everything
know.
shut down.
Yeah, I was playing that day. Like I normally do not play Fortnite, but I was there for that event. And then all of a sudden I just see this black hole in the sky and everyone's getting sucked in it. And I'm just like, what is happening? That was great. And then the whole Fortnite shut down and people were freaking out.
That lasted for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
We were
lasts
like,
like
what
days.
is going on?
So imagine
cool.
like this goes a step further and ends up going into marketing for Halo. Like let's say when like you were talking about, hey, this could have been an idea for marketing. So let's say when Halo Infinite is going to come out, let's say they start premiering like the Halo Infinite trailers on like the screen in Fortnite, like in the drive-in theater. You know, there's like a screen there, or in the party royale mode. There's like there's lots of different things that could come from that.
Skin codes for Halo Infinite in Fortnite.
Skin
Yeah,
codes.
Yeah. That's going to be a big thing for multiplayer. We saw, what was it? I think it was Monster. There was a couple other where they showed the BR, the different skins for the different weapons for the multiplayer. So even like Fortnite fans, because I don't think they're going to keep them all kind of like sleek Halo-esque and stuff. Because even Halo 5 Guardians, like they had a pizza skin for your assault rifle. They had some crazy skins going on. So I can see them incorporating kind of like if they do a deal with Epic and kind of have these limited run kind of like Fortnite skins that you can download for weapon skins in Halo Infinite as well, kind of work together business partnership wise. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so I guess we've done enough of that. So I had a little bit of a surprise topic that I didn't want to give y'all a chance to think about beforehand. And this was my wife's idea last night, so y'all can thank her for that.
This is what we do in bed.
Yeah. So all right, we'll go around, and I'll start with you, 3-bit.
Oh no.
Kill one. Battlefield.
One gotta go.
Well, one's got to go. I'll say kill one.
Oh, okay.
Battlefield, Call of Duty, Halo, or Gears?
Jesus.
Dang. Wow. I have to kill one?
Yo, you got it. One's got to go, man.
All right.
One
One's
is one that you think one of these is a
man.
piece of trash and it doesn't deserve to be in your life anymore.
All right.
Blam,
I'm killing.
I'm gonna kill my YouTube career.
I'm killing COD, man.
You're killing COD?
I'm killing COD. They ruined Halo. So I'm killing them. So Halo may shine again.
You heard it first. 3-bit thinks COD is trash. All right, let's go with you, PTK.
All right.
Kill one.
Out of those options?
Those options, yeah. You got Gears, Halo, COD, and Battlefield.
Oh, it's a wrap. COD is out of here.
Wow.
That's 2 for COD.
So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You got to go.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Sorry, COD.
Xbot, your turn, man.
You know what? We are gonna make it unanimous.
Oh.
Call
Wow.
of Duty
Gotta go.
has to go. Not for anything, man. I've tried playing it a couple times. I'm not a big Call of Duty guy. Anybody who follows my channel, follows me on Twitter, you know I am not a COD fan. All right. I've tried to play it, and I don't know how many 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds have done so many things to my mom. It's been absolutely insane. And just stray bullets hitting me out of nowhere, not even seeing where they are. Like that Twitch shooter, I am not down with. So you put the demographic together with that kind of like Twitch shooter, and it's a formula for me to never play that franchise ever. So yeah, no, Call of Duty's got to go, man.
I think your chat agrees with us too, man.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised.
Yeah.
Did you have
Didn't
one,
you
Ben?
say last night in bed that everybody would like not pick Call of Duty?
Yeah, I didn't think so because it's just everybody plays Call of Duty usually.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I
So
would say Gears is maybe a second.
Maybe it's
ooh.
Maybe.
well, so
That's,
we
that's,
talk,
that's a voluntary choice that you just
so
made there. So
the
now people are gonna be
entire
really talking.
Yeah,
this is
yo, you
not like
out there now.
That's just me because for this, notice my two picks are franchises that has a similar formula for the most part, and they keep building upon that formula to make a game that people really like, right? And Gears, I think, really solidified the third person action adventure
Yeah.
game.
It's
or
the only
action,
third-person
yeah,
shooter on this list,
third-person
actually.
shooter. But if I
Yeah.
had to choose, it's hard. But if I had to,
well, I think the
I don't
only
know.
reason I would even consider Gears is because I don't play the multiplayer portion of Gears really at all. I'm not invested in Gears multiplayer, so it's easier for me to let go of that than Battlefield. I'm more likely to play Battlefield's multiplayer and campaign. I love Gears campaign. Is by far one of the better ones. It's probably two after Halo on
Yeah.
the list as far as campaign, but the
Yeah.
multiplayer I do not touch. So I think that's why I'm kind of okay.
Blam, I am actually right there with you. Like when it comes to the multiplayer, I'll do horde mode with people.
Yeah.
I'll play horde mode, but when it comes to the super sweaty competitive multiplayer, I have never been a Gears guy. I love the campaigns, especially Gears 5. I thought the story of Kate, man, I really got into that story. I thought it was awesome. I know, there's some haters out there that talk about that story. Some, I guess you can say, ex-hardcore Gears fans that will say, that Kate's story was trash. But I literally put it as like the top of the heap for me. I really got into the story. But if I had to pick a second one, man, I would go with I would lean towards Gears as well for that multiplayer. I just bumping your ass into cover constantly, relying on your shotgun and stuff like I never got into the competitive multiplayer for that.
Right on. Do you have a choice in this, babe? You're on mute. You're on mute, babe.
Shit,
You can read
sorry.
her lips.
I would kill Gears.
Just
Oh,
call her
that's
vicious,
easy.
just
Wait
like
a
that.
minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
I just it's one I've played the least.
Okay, that
Fair
makes
enough.
sense. That's cool.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she's more into the first person shooters, right?
Got
Not
it.
the third person, right?
Got it.
So, but that was vicious. You just without anything added, just I would kill Gears. That's just what she said. So I would. Oh man, this is I play all four, right? Begrudgingly.
Don't say nothing crazy now, Mav. Come on now. Wait, hold on.
No, I don't want to choose any of them, but I have to be real with myself,
Okay.
right? Halo's not the choice for sure.
Halo is.
I would like.
I think everybody would have to fight.
Yeah, we would like. I think everybody would scratch and claw all the other ones and just like, no, don't touch Halo. You can kill all three of them. Don't touch Halo. But I think it would have to be Battlefield.
Okay.
It is because the direction of the franchise the last several years has kind of gone a little bit downhill and it's been less enjoyable each iteration that has come out.
Good point.
And the other thing is, it hasn't really, but since Bad Company had a great campaign.
Yes.
But since Bad Company, I have not really enjoyed playing a single player version in mode in Battlefield games. Really. So with that, kind of gives me less play, right? And then, even though I'm not saying I don't like it, I freaking love Battlefield, right? But out of those four, for me, uh, it would have to go, because the other three. Now, if you were to say, let's say Modern Warfare didn't exist and it was just all the other Call of Duties, then I would say Call of Duty, right? But Modern Warfare, I think, is really good. Like the last year's Call of Duty, not this year's, last year's Call of Duty saved it for me, right? Okay, you deserve another 5 years before I cut you off again.
You're generous.
Yeah, I'm hoping the next Battlefield is freaking amazing. I love that franchise. I love the big multiplayer battles, right? I love the big open maps. I like the conquest mode and stuff, right? I like the destructible environments, all that stuff. So I hope the next Battlefield kind of gets back to that feeling, right? And let's see here. Okay, so that was fun. Anything going on in the chat, baby?
The sort of hint,
Oh yeah, go ahead, 3-bit.
I was just gonna say that the sort of hint on that last point. I think a lot of different games try to copy the Call of Duty formula and fail, and I think it sort of makes it so the reason why you like the game in the first place is it sort of starts to get lost in a lot of games, like a lot of people who don't like Halo 5 or Halo 4 is Halo 4 or 5 is because they start implementing like things from other franchises like
Ordnance drops, man.
Ordnance drops and all this different stuff. Or even Battlefield. They start to slowly change the gameplay to fit Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is number one in terms of sales and in terms of the audience. So only Call of Duty can really do Call of Duty. I think.
And they struggle doing that half the time. So,
Yo, thank you, Blair. Thank you.
Yeah, so
I wanted to say hello to some other people. Notice we got Pong Souls in the chat. We got Cyber Gunter. How's it going? Let's see, Froggy. And hey, Froggy. Yes, my wife is from Vermont. And yeah, I see that you live near the border of New Hampshire and Vermont, so that's pretty cool. Y'all are from the same neck of the woods. I know it's cold there right now. I'm glad I'm not in that.
New England, baby.
Yeah,
New England,
right.
right here. Oh,
we got Leonidas in there. How's it going? I appreciate all you guys hanging out with us. So let's go into the next topic. So this is going to be interesting for you guys, because I think this could go lots of different directions here. So I wanted to focus on, we have the Game Awards coming up, right? And that's its own show, and it's got its own awards and stuff. But I want to know, what are your guys' game of the year for Xbox? It doesn't have to be first party, right? But what is the game that you enjoyed playing the most on Xbox this past year? So we'll start with PTK.
oh man, caught me off guard. Jesus Christ.
gotta get first.
Yeah.
Got it, man. This is the one.
So the game I enjoyed playing the most,
Destiny 2.
I ain't gonna lie, with this new update, but is it? You said it was Xbox though, correct?
Well,
Xbox
it doesn't have to be first party.
Okay.
Now, it says a little bit about Xbox's first party lineup if none of us end up picking a first party game.
No. I was just making. I was clarifying.
Yeah.
I was clarifying. So I would go with Ori then.
Ori?
Ori. Yeah, I think easily. I don't even think if you go on first party, I don't think it's close. I mean, some people may say something like Gears Tactics, but Ori for sure. The game, it's amazing. I mean, it speaks for itself. It's as close as you can get to a Disney movie in a video game.
I want to be clear. It doesn't have to be first party, but it
I
has to be
know.
playable on Xbox. Okay, so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I agree with you. That's a great game.
Yep, Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Yep.
Short and sweet. Love it. Xbox.
All right. Well, first off, since it doesn't have to be first party, now I was gonna say Ori and the Will of the Wisp, just because the emotion behind it. Not only is it one of the best platformers I have ever played from the time I started playing video games. All right, my very favorite game, first favorite game was Pitfall on Atari. All right, absolutely love that game. So you can tell I like platformers. Ori, the emotion behind the story in that game, even when the characters didn't say anything, the animation, the look in their eyes, like you really felt for each and every character and what they were going through. But since it's not going to be first party, and Blam said that, and I just wanted to get my thoughts out there on Ori. I'm gonna have to go with Destiny 2, and the reason why. From the very beginning of Destiny, they talked about a war between the light and the dark. All right. This year, the darkness finally arrived. We had the season of the arrivals into what we're doing now, where we're actually harnessing powers of the darkness and using them with something called stasis. But seeing this story unfold, seeing the triangle ships just suddenly appear, and kind of like the whole lore behind that, because I'm with Lamb on the whole Destiny thing. The lore is incredible. The lore is what gets me to play the game. The lore behind the exotics is it's what gets me to grind for the exotic as well. And we're going into the history of the exos. Anybody who plays Destiny 2, Cade 6 was an exo, and basically how exos were made and all that good stuff. That's all in the new expansion now. So you went from the arrivals to all of a sudden you're really getting into what the darkness is doing, the fight between light and dark, and the Guardians. Now you're not fixed on a side anymore. You don't just pick the powers of the light. There's now a darkness power as well, and they're going to add more to that as they kind of like expand in their kind of like 3-year planning. So I gotta say, Destiny 2 and what they've done with the story and evolve that, and kind of like getting immersed in what is going on between that ultimate war between light and dark, good and evil, and then everybody in the middle who's like, I don't know, is there a gray spot somewhere in here I can be in? Like, the story and what's going on with Destiny 2 starting this year is really, really good, man.
So it seems like they finally got a hold of that, which was always the biggest complaint. Like when Destiny 1 was out, is that story was just not where people wanted it to be, but they still had the fun gameplay, right? And the grind was there, but the story was missing. And it seems like with Destiny 2, they've really put in that effort and time and have expanded on it and expanded on it and really hooked people like yourself into that world, where they feel like, hey, this is worth knowing what's going to happen next, right?
Yeah. No, it's Destiny 2 since the update's been phenomenal. I don't know how much I know Xbox plays quite a bit. I play quite a bit. I've probably been playing that the most out of any game I own currently, probably the last really since the DLC came out.
What I need to do,
I'm gonna go check my hours on that game.
I need to play it with you guys because I played it at kind of when it launched, and then there was so much that had come out, and I played a bunch of other stuff, and then when I ended up going back to the game, which was months later, it was like a different game. I didn't know what the heck was going on. I was like standing in a town I'd never been in before, and I was looking around, and there's like 20 people with icons above their heads, and I had no idea who I was supposed to talk to or what I was supposed to do. So I need somebody to walk me through and get me back into the grind of what I'm supposed to be doing, and teach me the ropes again. And then I know I will get it hooked because I love Bungie and I love the gameplay with that game.
All right, guys, you ready to hear my time played in Destiny 2? You ready?
Where you at?
I am at 104 days, 20 hours, and 35 minutes.
Wow. That's not even hours. He said
That's
he said
days.
he said
Days.
104. I was like 104 hours. Okay, that's not that. He said
30
freaking
years.
days.
Yeah.
That's
Jesus.
2,400 hours.
104 days, 20 hours, and 35 minutes. Yeah.
2,420 days. I mean hours. 2,420 hours. That is
I
insane, man.
definitely have something like that on Halo.
That's really good. That's awesome. What's your game of the year on Xbox 3-bit?
I was like listening to you guys and trying to figure out. It's either Jedi Fallen Order because it got snubbed for last year, like you guys
Yeah.
were mentioning, and
That
then
cutoff date is cheese. I hate the fact that they did that.
yeah, that was like pretty messed up. And or Ori. I think those two games are beautiful. Ori, I started playing and it especially with the update, right? The 120 frames per second update. It's just a beautiful game. Like I they did such a good job with the animation. I'm so like picky about animation as an animator, and they killed it. Uh, they absolutely killed it. The world, the gameplay, um, yeah. If I had to choose one, I would say Ori, just because it's impressing me right now. But Jedi Fallen Order is right under there. It's very close. And I think we should also make predictions for who's gonna win the Game Awards, for Game of the Year. I think that it's also an interesting
Yeah.
conversation.
Who do you think's gonna win?
Who are the nominees again?
Hmm.
Go over them again.
I can bring them up real quick.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we got
Animal Crossing, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us Part 2, Hades, and I think there's one more.
Doom Eternal was the other one.
Ooh.
So is it who will win or who actually should win? Because those are two different things.
Who
Who
will
will?
win? I
Who
think
will?
Last of Us. Last of Us is winning.
I think Last of Us will win as well. Who should
Yeah.
win is probably Ghost.
Yeah.
I'll
think
say
so.
Ghost of Tsushima is gonna win. Actually, you know what? I take it back. It's Jeff Keighley's show. I'm sorry. I take it back. Animal Crossing.
Think about
Animal Crossing is gonna
Mhm.
win the Game Awards.
No, it's Jeff Keighley's show. So somehow, some way,
Death Stranding is gonna
Kojima-
win, even though it was.
Kojima game is gonna win. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but yep, they gotta bring Kojima.
We have moved the timeline back a little bit on what the release date criteria has to be. Death Stranding. All right.
Yeah.
So, did you have an opinion on what your game of the year for Xbox was for last year, babe? You're on mute again.
I freaking know. I was taking care of it. I think Gears.
Gears,
Yeah.
but that's the one you wanted to kill.
I know. I just want to see your guys' reaction.
Everybody's gonna be too nice to you.
Yeah, we're quiet in here. Like, oh, God.
Yeah, none of y'all said anything. Like, what the
Disrespecting your opinion.
Oh wow.
fuck? Halo.
Which Halo Master Chief Collection?
Yeah,
Halo
'cause it's a
should have
new
been
game now.
nominated for.
It's a new game now.
It
It
pretty
is.
much is.
It feels
It
very-
is. It is.
You
You're
know,
right. She's right.
They have an ongoing category, and Halo should have been nominated for that. There's no doubt.
I agree.
Yeah,
That
I agree.
For sure.
that update, the players are coming back in droves right now.
Ongoing needs to go to Destiny 2 for everything that I just said. What are you talking about?
I would vote Master Chief Collection.
And I'm a huge Halo fan too, man. You know what I'm saying? I am a huge Halo
Well,
fan.
I
But-
think
I gotta see
we
that
consider
category.
where the Master Chief Collection started at to where it's at now. I think that's a bigger leap. And Destiny wasn't in the shape Master. It didn't have the problems that Master Chief Collection had to be. So
Yeah,
I think
but brother, they waited like 4 years before they started fixing it too, man.
And it was worth the wait.
Oh, nice. I can't argue with that. Oh. But no, come on, man. Destiny 2, like it has its peaks and valleys, and right now we are sitting on Mount Everest in terms of story, in terms of content, in terms of exotics. We got an exotic meta rocket launcher again. The last time we had that was Gallahorn.
Gallahorn, yeah.
Oh, Destiny 2 is in the category, so it's
It's
in
gonna
there.
win.
I
It's gonna
just
win.
checked.
It's going to win.
If you don't mind me asking, 3, who else is in that category?
Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky.
Oh, crap.
Fudge.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I
Not
think
a-
Destiny 2's got the best chance of
They got a
winning
good
that.
chance,
If
yeah.
you're
I think they
actually
got a-
asking me,
yeah, if you're asking that question, because I mean, Fortnite. I mean, that's
Word, though. Yeah.
Fortnite's like it's in my opinion personally. Even though all the cool things that Fortnite's doing, it's actually gone a little bit downhill as a game,
true.
but gone uphill in other ways, right? To become something more than a game. But as
I
far
agree.
as being a game in itself, I think it's gone a little bit downhill,
I
right?
would
So,
agree with that.
um, Destiny 2, like I said, I need to get back into that. I think it's got a good chance to win. Apex Legends is no slouch, though.
That's
Okay,
true.
Apex Legends is a solid shooter. It is a blast to play. They are doing a great job with a consistent flow of new characters, and that when they bring out a new character in that game, it actually makes a huge impact. Unlike a lot of games, when new characters in that game actually change the game for everybody
Yeah.
in a different way than a lot of shooters do. It's a very interesting thing they did with when they developed that,
And,
and yeah, it's solid. So it keeps it fresh. They just came out with another new map, so that there's a possibility there. But Destiny 2, as far as ongoing,
What about No Man's Sky? What do you guys
yeah,
think about
it's
that?
yeah,
changed so
yeah,
much.
yeah,
I just don't
yeah.
know if it has the player base.
Yeah, that the other four do.
I could be wrong about that. Maybe they do. I don't know, but I just don't see it talked as much about as I do
True.
some of these other
Like
franchises.
Destiny or
Yeah.
like Apex. Yeah.
And
I
mean,
will say, Mav, Apex had me for a straight 2 weeks when it first came out, and then I never played it again, bro.
I was hooked on that game like I hadn't been hooked on a shooter in years for about 3 or 4 months. And before even season 1 came out, I'd hit level 100 in like a couple weeks, right? And then I just played that game like 6 hours a day or something. It was really good, and I got really sucked into it. Then I stopped playing because other stuff had come out and everything.
Yeah.
But when I go back to it, it's a fun time. But I think you need to play it with friends. You need to have a 3-person squad of people that you really
And I
want to
want
play
to
with.
give Respawn and Apex their flowers right now, because kudos to them for sticking around, because people thought they were just going to come and go next to Fortnite. They've stuck around, and I would argue they've grown in conjunction just as much as Fortnite has. And people thought it was just going to be this fad. Oh, it was cool for now, it's going to go away. They've done a phenomenal job with keeping up with that game and its growing fan base. And it's actually I don't say toe to toe with Fortnite, but it's right there. It can coexist with Fortnite, and it doesn't have a problem like some other games that have attempted other battle royales to kind of come and gone. That one's done a phenomenal job. So kudos to Respawn.
Speaking of the Game Awards, Vince Zampella has a history of kind of showing up there and having something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this time, I think that's where they kind of hinted at Jedi Fallen Order before for the first time. They kind of went to him in the crowd, and he was kind of like, the next game we're making is called Jedi Fallen Order, and that's all he said, right?
Yeah.
So then they had
the
Apex Legends thing came out of nowhere, right? It was people hinted at it the day before it was announced. But maybe I think it's been hinted that they got something to show at Respawn, and
I'm more excited for because we saw like all the games that are going into Game Pass this month, and then at the very end they were like, okay, we'll see you at the VGAs, like at the end of that. So I'm kind of course, I do prefer to play on Xbox, but I'm excited to see if they're gonna drop some Game Pass bombs at the VGAs. And then my brother Randall Thor, shout out to Randall Thor, strongly believes that Xbox will be announcing a brand new game at the VGAs as well.
Oh, I think so too, man.
I think so too. That's a good chance.
We talked about this last week, if you ended up catching the show, that I think Xbox has to have something there, right? And they need to, because this is the big stage this year. There's no E3, right? This is the big multi-platform gaming celebration this year without E3, where all the consoles are going to be there. If Sony shows up with like 2 or 3 things and and kind of wows people if Nintendo does, and then Xbox shows up without any big surprise or nothing, they're gonna get killed after this show, and they
Well,
can't let that happen again.
The last time they were here, we got the Series X news. So, I mean,
100%. They're
yeah,
gonna have
so-
something. They know how big of a stage this is, and how many people are gonna be watching this year.
Well, I
It
was
is
gonna say,
relevant.
with last year, with what Xbox did last year, I mean, it took everybody by surprise. I remember I was watching the show. I was thinking about streaming it on my channel. I'm like, nah, what are they really going to show at the VGAs, And then all of a sudden, I saw, this build up to what was coming, and I. As soon as I saw that clear kind of like cube, I'm like, they're showing it. I yelled for the kids to come into the room. A 17-year-old and 12-year-old twins, and they just watched the screen, and I'm like, they are showing the next Xbox. Like, I could not believe it. Xbox raised the bar for what they can show at the awards. They have the responsibility now to have a wow factor at the VGAs because of what they did last year.
And
Let's be real.
They got a lot to show with as many studios as they have, and also they know it worked for them last year. That Hellblade 2 trailer ended up going everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it killed
So
me.
the success of it was proof enough for them that they should have something, I think. And that's a perfect leeway what you were talking about as the Game Pass games hitting this month into Game Pass, because that is the next topic. I kept it last because we spent, or it's not entirely last, but it's close to last. We spent a lot of time talking about this on your podcast yesterday. So I wanted to kind of keep a little bit shorter as far as we go on.
Is that a warning, Mav? Is that a warning for me?
No, it's not a warning. It's just that me and you already talked about it. I really want to know what PTK and 3-Bit think about this, and your thoughts if you have anything else to add as well.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, babe.
Paul just made a good point in the chat.
Uh-huh.
He said that nobody is going to be watching the awards because isn't that the day Cyberpunk comes out?
That is.
Oh no, they'll be watching.
Comes out.
No, they'll be
the
watching.
same day.
Yeah,
Is it?
It is.
The 10th,
Yeah.
I believe, right?
It's
Like the
December
10th?
10th.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, if people don't preload it, they're going to be
Be
downloading
installing it.
That's true.
Yeah, that is something to think about. But I think a lot of those Cyberpunk fans will be watching in hopes of some kind of interesting Cyberpunk news as well, maybe possibly.
And we know the Xbox just confirmed like a couple days that Xbox is at the award show, so we know that they're there. There's been rumors, and to me personally, and then to my other podcast friends, that Hellblade 2 is going to be there, which will be awesome.
It makes sense. People are expecting it,
so we'll see. I'm ready.
Cross my fingers.
Check this out. For the people who are playing Cyberpunk, I got the perfect solution. This is what's going to go on, because on my channel, we're going to do a second screen experience. I'm going to have the actual show going on, the visuals, but I'm not going to put the sound on because of all the music and everything like that. And the way YouTube, and Twitch and everything has been crazy with like copyright and all of the music and stuff. But I'm going to do a second screen experience. So what they're going to do is, on their computer or cell phone, they're going to have my channel on, and they're going to be hearing our reactions. And as soon as something starts to go crazy on that second screen experience on my channel, they're going to switch right over to the Game Awards and see what is going on, and they're going to react with us. See, perfect solution there.
Nice. Yeah, I'm also be having a stream. I'm not technically savvy enough to figure out that craziness, so I'll just be the Game Awards. That's awesome, man. All right, so Game Pass games that we mentioned coming in December. It is a holiday gift to all of us, in my opinion, because holy crap, that's a lot of games. And it's not just a lot of games, it's a lot of good games with a mix of variety for lots of different people that play lots of genres, giving lots of people chances to try new genres of games that they never would have before. So I got a little list here. We got Control. What is Phogs? Phogs. That's on this list. I don't even know what that is.
It's like a two-headed dog that. Oh man, dude, if it's online multiplayer, Mav.
Yeah.
We might want. You got to play it with me sometime.
Okay. We got Haven. Slime Rancher. Yes, Your Grace. Dragon Quest 11. just quick tidbit. This is a big deal. Dragon Quest XI coming to Game Pass is a big deal. It's not only coming to Game Pass, but this is a Dragon Quest showing up on Xbox.
First time.
So this is a big deal with JRPGs. This is the biggest RPG franchise, I think, in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a big deal for it to be in Game Pass, and it was a huge game. So don't sleep on that, guys. It's a bigger deal than, even if you're not interested in that game. It's a bigger deal than you might think it is. Another one that people were excited about, I think they showed off at one of the showcases they had this year, was Call of the Sea. That's launching day one on Game Pass.
I can't wait for that. I cannot wait.
Monster Sanctuary, Unto the End, Assetto Corsa, Gang Beast, who my daughter loves that game. Greedfall, one that I had passed up on, but because I was nervous to pull that trigger and buy it for $60, but I liked what I saw. I liked what I was hearing. I was thinking about getting it later when it dropped in price to check it out. Was just too much to play at the time to invest in it. But now, hey, I was rewarded for my patience. It's freaking on Game Pass. I have no excuse not to play this game. Super Hot, Mind Control Delete. Super Hot is a really cool game, guys.
Really
this
fun.
is the second one, I think. So then we got the platforming ukulele and the Impossible Lair. Like I said, lots of variety, lots of different kinds of games here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we'll go around, and what are your thoughts on this list, 3-bit, and coming in time for the holidays?
If people want a Banjo Kazooie game and you're complaining that Xbox is not bringing it back, you have no excuse if you don't play ukulele, because that is pretty much like the predecessor.
It is pretty much Banjo, right?
It's pretty much Banjo, like modern day Banjo.
It's
this
made
is
by
a
X
great
Rare
game.
employees, man.
Yeah, and
Oh,
this
that's
one
why. I didn't
though
know.
is a little different. This one is a
Oh.
platformer. It's a little different than the open world style. This one is like a 2D
For sure,
side
for the
scrolling.
nuts and bolts
Yeah.
one, for sure. But yeah, it's a great game. And Game Pass in general is just, it's changing the way the industry works. We went from like Jim Ryan saying that Game Pass is not sustainable to, we are going to compete with Game Pass within
Yeah.
like a few months, you know.
Yeah.
So
Did he say
it's
that in the
just,
same sentence?
he said that within like a month, like a few months of each other. It's ridiculous. I think Game Pass is just amazing. It's one of the best services we have right now, and this is a good December lineup too. And the fact that in 2021 and 2022, it's gonna be even, I can't even imagine, because all these Xbox game studios are starting to release their games by next year. Halo Infinite, the new Forza, Fable, eventually, any Bethesda game. All those are going to Game Pass day one, and that's just like, what in the world? That's insane. Mind blown for sure. What do you guys think about it?
So I guess it was on me next. I think I was good, right, man?
Yeah, you go for it, man.
Okay. All right. So I mean, I can't really say much after 3-bit. I mean, it's by far, bar none, the best service in gaming at this particular point. Like you said, it's changing the way we look at games. It's changing the way people, purchase games, and it's super. It's just filled with so much value you can't even talk about it. But the lineup, as far as what we're getting, it's it. I actually had, and this is kind of piggybacking off what you said, 3-bit. I had somebody DM me, said, "Boy, what I sure like to see if Game Pass actually is working." I said, "Excuse me, have you not been paying attention to anything these last 2 or 3 years? Since Game Pass was announced, it's done nothing but grow. Companies don't continue to put their games in Game Pass if they don't believe it." So if that answers it, and you're going from 5 million subscribers essentially every 6 months or something of the sort, or 6 to 7
It's like
months. It's
15
growing.
to 16 million people now.
Yeah, and I'm sure it'll be damn near 20 by February, March, somewhere around there. So it goes without saying, Game Pass is valuable. It's reliable. It's amazing. You get so much from indie all the way to AAA titles. And it's a no brainer. It just makes so much sense, especially as a gamer. Even if you don't like Xbox much, I'd still buy Game Pass, even if I was a PlayStation guy, just in case something came out on Xbox that I actually wanted to play. it's that good of a value. And even if I hated Xbox, so it kind of goes without saying. But that lineup, and it's only going to get better, like you said, as the years go by and these studios pump out games. It's gonna be like you think we got a problem now. Imagine 2021, 2022. It's gonna be a problem as far as our backlog. So I'm 100% for more games.
What's your thoughts, Xbot? I know we all hammered this home last night, but I know you got more to say.
We did, and the horse isn't dead, so I'm gonna still beat it, man. The one point I want to make, and it's something that Predator said last night on the show, and when he said it, and it's one of the reasons why I love doing a weekly podcast, because somebody on the panel will say something, and I'm like, man, I didn't even think about that, and that is absolutely incredible. Predator brought up the fact that in December, for people who do celebrate the holidays, December, 25th, you got people opening presents. Of course, this is a new generation. They got the Series S, the Series X, which comes with, at least 3 months of Game Pass. So can you imagine opening a brand new console, right? And then, you put in the code for Game Pass and you have all these games. They added 17. I think they're going to add more in for the VGAs. You can see why December is probably going to be a huge month for Game Pass every single year. Besides the fact of the first party, which I agree with as well wholeheartedly. And I've gotten into arguments, social media, and I say arguments loosely because I don't really get angry, especially about video games and stuff like that. I don't really get upset, but talking about like Bethesda, the ZeniMax acquisition, everybody's like, yo, every single one of those games should only go on Xbox. And I'm like, well, why? Because, Microsoft and Xbox, they're really touting Game Pass. They want everybody to subscribe to Game Pass. That's a big thing, man. They have put so much money, so much effort into the service, made it an incredible value and a really high quality service that even if certain Bethesda games stay multi-platform, you're getting them day and date in Game Pass. Like that would be right there. Besides all the other games and all the other first party, you talk the Halo, Forza Motorsport, which 3-bit. I'm a huge fan of Forza, by the way. So I was really happy when you said Forza. Putting that all together, and then in December, again, for people opening up their presents, getting their brand new system, to have all those games ready to be downloaded on your brand new system. I mean, that is going to be amazing for so many people around the world this year.
Heck yeah, man. It's like when Xbox bought Bethesda, my thought wasn't, ooh, I get to have these and other people don't.
Yeah.
Right? My thought was, hey, cool. Xbox just spent $7.5 billion to save me money because I'm going to get to play those games in Game Pass. Right?
Dude, Matt, not only that, but, for people, because again, there's this whole, console war, my plastic better than your plastic type thing going on. But I'm like, when it comes to the staples for Bethesda, why not, have the games that have traditionally been multi-plat, keep them multi-plat, make the money on the other platforms as well, bring that money back to Xbox and create more first-party content and stuff like that.
We'll see what they do. I personally, I don't think they're going to do that. I don't care if they do, though, because they're in Game Pass, so I win either way. Right? I feel like I've won. I don't get off by other people not getting to play it. Right? It doesn't do anything for me. But what does do something for me is saving money. And Game Pass saves me money.
I'm in the camp where, and I've reiterated this multiple times, but I don't think Bethesda games are coming to other systems. But the thing is, when Phil's talking about accessibility and within the ecosystem, he's really hammering on what is already available. Like, you can play Xbox games on your phone right now, which is really cool. You can play games on your PC, which before was like weird to people. Like, you're putting Xbox games on PC? What? Now it's like common to us. So now we don't even really think about it like that, but it's a thing. You're accessing a large audience just with that alone. Um, so yeah, I think in terms of accessibility, they're already reaching a huge audience within just that alone.
And people tend to only think about the here and now and the recent past. But if you put yourself 3 years in the future, the amount of more devices that are going to be able to access Game Pass and at a higher quality than we can now with xCloud, TVs that are just going to automatically have that app built in right when you mount it on the wall. It's going to have that app built in, and it's going to work great because internet's going to be better, broadband's going to be better, mobile connections are going to be better, 5G is going to be more prevalent. There's just going to be a better it's going to be a better program for everybody. It's going to work better. And it's going to be more accessible. You're going to have more like streaming sticks. Maybe Microsoft's going to put them out, right? That is going to be able to access this content. So you're not necessarily keeping something from people when you acquire something like Bethesda and you're allowing it to go into Game Pass. You're actually increasing the amount of people that are going to be able to gain access to it.
Exactly.
So, that's what some people don't understand, regardless of whichever platform you play for. I don't know 100% what they're going to do. All I know is if you're in the Xbox ecosystem and they do things like that, you just won, right?
Yeah,
regardless of what they do somewhere else. So we're going to go on to, do you have anything to add with that, Bib?
No. I don't really know any of those games, but based on name alone, I was intrigued by the Call of the Sea. I don't know what that is.
Yes.
Yeah, does somebody want to explain that to her?
Basically, what it is, it's set in the. Yo, you notice how fast I jumped on that?
I knew. I knew you would, man.
We need them. Me and Three, but are not saying anything. I promise you.
Yeah, it's based in the 1930s, and what happens is this lady's husband goes on this expedition, kind of like the legend of kind of like the Mer people and stuff. So he goes to this tropical island and he disappears. So after a while, his wife decides that she is going to go and look for him. So basically, she's on a quest of discovery. You know, she's on this island basically by herself, trying to find her husband. And then she's coming across like ancient artifacts, puzzles, stuff like that, and she's trying to unravel where her husband is, what happened to him, and where are they going to go from there. And that's pretty much the story of this, based again in the 1930s. It's really colorful, got kind of like a semi, it's like a cartoony yet realistic looking vibe, kind of like Sea of Thieves in that manner. In terms of the look, and it looks really cool. And then at the end of kind of like the trailer, they show an underwater scene, first person view, and you see these hands of somebody swimming, and you can see they're like green, scaly, very artistic, like a mer person or something like that. And that is what really intrigued me. Like, what happened? Are you gonna like transform into like a mer person going into an underwater world or something like that? But so really kind of like puzzle solving, exploration, and discovery is what's under the hood of this game.
It could be a little bit like that Firewatch game, maybe.
Yeah, Firewatch was really good, actually.
Yeah, you watched me play that. She actually really enjoyed that.
I'm hyped. I am really hyped for that game. I think it's gonna catch a lot of people by surprise. I think it's gonna be one of those well-made games that for people who do play it, it'll stay in their memory for a long time.
Yeah, I see you were trying to chime in there, 3-bit.
Shoot, what was I gonna say?
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, I was just saying I got some BioShock vibes as well. From the trailer.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
me too. That's what really got me at first. I'm like, yo, this looks like a not as dark, not as sinister, not not Rapture and stuff, but there's a certain BioShock type vibe to it in the exploration and stuff. Because I remember the first time I played BioShock, man, I wanted to go everywhere in Rapture and find out everything. Like, the world just intrigued me so much, and I got that same feeling from watching that trailer for Call of the Sea. So I can't wait for it to come out, man.
Yeah, I think what grabbed a lot of people from that was just immediately they noticed the art style and how pretty it was. and we're just thinking, okay, I want to be in that world, right? So whenever you nail the aesthetic like that and the mood and the vibe of a game, you know you're onto something. And like for example, another game that we're all intrigued by because of that very reason, but know nothing about is Everwild, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
They've
Yep. I have
nailed the
no idea
aesthetic.
what kind of game it is.
It's beautiful, and we all are like dying to be in that
Yeah.
world. We want to be there. Like we want to take control and explore, but we don't even know what we're supposed to do yet when we grab that controller.
I
Right?
don't even think Rare knows.
I don't
what-
think
what-
they do either. We'll find
Uh,
out, man. Hopefully they do. Hey, you know that game's been in development for a while. Maybe they've nailed that idea down, and maybe that's something we'll see at the Game Awards.
That'd be
That-
cool.
That could be.
It could be. That's something. That's one we never think about, right?
Yeah.
For some reason. All right. So, just as we do every week, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to end this show with the Game Pass Game of the Week.
Dun dun dun.
And this week, we have a new addition to Game Pass. I have already mentioned it in this list. It is a game that was Game of the Year to many media sites and people that have played it just a year ago. The game recently has come out with DLC in the form of an Ultimate Edition and is getting a next-gen update in another version. But the base game that came out last year was just put into Game Pass, and I am talking about Control by Remedy. And I think this is a game that deserves attention. While it's in Game Pass, you got to hit it while it's hot, strike while the fire's there. I don't know what I was going to say. But anyway, you need to strike now. Play that game. It is I started playing it the other day. And I was like, okay, I slept on this thing. You know, this is a freaking good game. This is not just a good game. This is Remedy at their best. It has like Metroid kind of elements to it. You're going around exploring. You do things. You unlock abilities. You go. I mean, it's pretty freaking sick. Okay, the mood, the environment, the aesthetic, like we're talking about there. You get immersed. It's easy to get lost in the game, and the hours will slip by. I had to force myself to stop because I bought the Ultimate Edition because I knew it was getting the next gen update. Otherwise, I would have went ahead and beat it. But then the next day, they announced it was coming to Game Pass. So did I feel like a fool? No, I feel like it was worth it. I got it for $19.99, so I get all the DLC. So you guys don't with Game Pass Edition, but that's okay. What are your guys' thoughts?
You control.
So we'll start with Xbox, Xbot on the. I just call you Xbox now. We'll start with Xbot on the Game Pass Game of the Week with Control. And is there another game that you think should be highlighted for Game Pass you want to shout out there?
Well, first off, with Control, I got to shout out my brother Wilmy Hood. Shout out to Wilmy Hood because he was kind enough to buy me that game when it dropped. And for anybody who knows him in the community, he is just that type of guy, man. He's always about the community. He loves making people laugh with the memes and stuff like that on social media. But not only that, man, like he will just drop a game if he knows that you're really into a game and for some rhyme or reason you can't swing it. There's a good possibility he will help you out. So shout out to him for that and hooking me up with a copy of the game. Now, with that being said, man, this game. Now, I have not beat it. All right, I do that whole Mav thing as well, where like I'll play a game and then other games will come out, and you got to go and try those and stuff. And with single player games, I love the fact that the story stops until you go back and start playing it again. So, I do a lot of multiplayer stuff, especially Destiny 2, Crucible, getting into raids, all that good stuff. But the vibe that you get from Control and what's going on and kind of like the mystery behind the building that you're in and kind of like seeing the building shift and just the vibe. It reminds me of like a 1960s sci-fi movie, but with way better kind of like effects and stuff, effects for today. And you seeing kind of like the layout of the building, even some of the the art deco, the office desks and everything like that. I get a real sense of like a 1960s type environment, but sci-fi, and then like stuff just hits the fan. And to have kind of like an upgrade system for your weapon, a perk system for your weapon and your character, and really being able to cater, like to really get your player to cater to how you like to play the game, but still keeping the story intact. And that's something that I don't think a lot of developers get. Like when you can customize your character to play how you want to play, I feel like sometimes the story will get lost in how you want to play. But with this game, the story always stays front and center. You're always intrigued. There's always a mystery right around the corner, and you're always wanting to explore more and figure more out about what's going on. This is a high quality game to have in Game Pass, and I think it'll hook a lot of people who in the beginning just pass by Control. Either something about the look, because I believe somebody off air was saying that it could look a little foggy, and a lot of that has to do with the games engine that the game is built on. It is a very high demanding game when it comes to hardware. But at the end of the day, if you want story, you want immersion, you want mystery, you want just an overall kind of like sci-fi coolness, I think you deserve you deserve to try this game. Definitely download it and play it.
It also slipped under the radar for a lot of people because it's published by 505. So it's not like it had the huge marketing budget like Remedy's games that they did with Microsoft or anything like that. So maybe a lot of people just haven't really paid attention to it.
Yeah.
So what do you think, 3-bit?
I guess you could say, you guys like how this game controls.
Oh, easy joke
Um,
incoming.
But
what a smooth one, man. That was nice.
No, I played this game on the Xbox One S. He was referring to me. Like, I stopped playing the game because of how amazing it is, and I know how weird that sounds. But I wanted to experience the game at its full fidelity, at its full quality. Like, I legit just stopped playing the game. Like, this is really good. I'm gonna stop playing now. And really waiting for that ultimate patch in 2021. And what I played for the most part, it does remind me, and well said, Xbox, in terms of how you was talking about the game, but it really reminds me of like the 1960s in a way. And it has that vibe of like older films, and has like inspirations from just like the art style is just beautiful, and it has like the red rooms, and Metroid in a way, which Mav was saying, where there are areas in the game where are kind of locked, and you walk past it and you're like, oh, I can't reach that area yet, and then later you can access that area without spoiling much in the game. It's very fun to play. It's Remedy at its best. When I associate anything with Remedy, I associate physics, right? I associate really fun gunplay, and just a good time. So I think people are going to enjoy it if you haven't played it already. It's in Game Pass. Check it out.
You know, 3-bit, just real quick. One thing I'm really impressed of, and you said you had to stop playing, but I can almost guarantee you saw this. The amount of destructibility, like when
Yes.
you're fighting enemies, like seeing the papers fly off the desks, holes going into the desks, the foundation pillars getting chunked off as you're shooting them and stuff like that. The entire environment, man, you can lay waste to the whole thing in a certain way, not in terms of like the whole foundation coming down and stuff, but dude, what did you think? Were you impressed by like how much like stuff was flying through the air, like when you were shooting at things that were coming at you, man?
I was impressed on the Xbox One S. That's where I'm coming from. Like, I was impressed with the graphics at that level, and even though like it looked a little blurry in some areas and stuff like that, the graphics on the Xbox One S impressed me. So that's why I was just like, yeah, I need to I need to experience this in its highest quality that possible. I don't like playing PC, so that's going to be on the Series X.
You can
So,
actually like bump into something that would usually be like a non-physics based object, right? Just thinking it's supposed
Yeah.
to just be there. You bump into it and it'll like fall apart, right? it'll like fall into pieces because you hit it too hard on accident. And you're like, whoa, I didn't know that was a movable object. That's cool. Um, yeah, and I get Stranger Things vibes also a little bit from it. And I saw in the chat somebody said X-Files.
Cyber
Yeah,
Gunner,
X-Files
yeah.
would be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Dude,
Cybergunner said
Stranger
X-Files.
X-Files, and I'm probably going to show my age a little bit over here. I'm slightly over 40 when it comes to this, but Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
You kind
Yep.
of roll them all together.
Damn, dude, you stole exactly what I
No.
was just gonna say that.
Hey,
Leon,
go with Tales from the Crypt
It's
shop.
a tradition between me and you, man.
Yeah,
If I'm
man.
on the shop, if you're on next, you know I got to steal something from you.
Yeah, PTK, go with Tales from the Crypt. It was a better show.
I know, right?
than
Mine is the funny looking skeleton guy, but yeah, no, I agree with all the assessments. And this is I'm not gonna be a fraud. This is a game that I didn't say I won't say I ignored. I didn't ignore it. It came I believe it came out at a time around another big game, if I remember correctly, because it it didn't really get as much push. It was almost damn near stealth. It just came out and it came out. And I know there was some drama around the game as far as like Sony and all these other things, but ultimately the game itself is phenomenal. Like they said, Remedy is a high quality studio. I felt like Quantum Break was almost a beta for Control. Like some of the things they wanted to achieve in Control that they actually were able to perfect. That they kind of started in Quantum Break and they kind of fleshed the ideas, like 3-Bit was saying about the physics and how different parts of the environment, interact with you, things like that, that also were in Quantum Break, just not to the degree that they are in Control. So, like you said, Twilight Zone. If you like, puzzles, if you like, just mind, if you don't mind mind fucks, things like that. Like it's a very high quality game. The storytelling's there. I don't have the new systems yet, so I can't, hopefully I get to that 0.3-bit and I can get those upgrades and see exactly how beneficial those are. But yeah, don't pass on it. It's in Game Pass. No reason not to play it. I know the game didn't get a whole lot of shine. A lot of people just didn't really pay attention to it when it came out. But definitely do yourself a favor. Go download it, play it. It's a phenomenal game. How long would you guys say the game, the actual game? Well, you guys haven't beat it, but I know Xbox, you beat the game, correct?
I didn't beat it, but I'm pretty far into the game, man.
What about you? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, if you want, since I still have my Xbox on here, let me. I'm gonna go and check out how much time I have in the game.
Did you beat it, man?
So Crossfire X, you guys. That's their next.
That's
game.
another. Yeah, they're doing the campaign portion, I believe. Right?
I stopped playing it for the same reason that 3-Bit did, because I have the Ultimate Edition, and it's getting the next gen update, and it was so freaking good. And it's a
weird,
single player
right?
game
So
that I'm
good.
like, okay, I have to be responsible with myself right now. I have to put the brakes on, because I was so sucked in. I could have sat there and kept playing it, like, and not stop. So I you can actually watch it on my stream. I was having a blast. You can see me, okay, I'm gonna play this game. I'm like, oh my god, this is a good game. Holy crap. And I got really into it. And then it's like I look at the clock and it's like 2 hours later and I'm getting really into it. I'm like, okay, be patient. This is gonna get a lot of enhancements from Remedy, and it's coming. So I'm gonna play it then. But what I experienced,
the game's not easy either. It's not easy, man. There is a nice difficulty curve that you feel an accomplishment. Like when you go through a room of enemies, like when you first get in there, you're like, you can almost feel overwhelmed. You start using the powers and stuff that you have. There's a sense of accomplishment there that, like, it's not a cakewalk to just go in and tear everything up. There is some strategy there. There's some thinking, and I like that, man. I like when there is a sense of accomplishment. And I'm not like I've never tried Dark Souls or anything like that. So games that absolutely hammer you, I'm not the biggest fan of. Although I do like Ninja Gaiden, but the difficulty arc that's in Control is really nice, man. It you get a feeling from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. For sure. I think Matt hit it on the dot where the fact that we both had the analogy where this is too good to play, I'm stopping. It says a lot to the game's quality. So
Hey, Blam, check this out. I think you're dealing with a couple next gen elitists right now when it comes to control. Like they gotta play it on the next
You
gen
guys,
console.
one
I don't
day
have
you guys will understand.
I don't have to. I'm sorry. Call me impulsive. I have to disagree for other things, but not a great game. Listen. I'm gonna finish this thing, or we gonna get as close as possible to finishing before I have to pass out. So that's kind of how I am with a really good game. And I don't play. To be honest, I don't play very many single player games. I'm just not that guy. I play a few here and there. But I'm more of a co-op multiplayer kind of dude. That's why I enjoy the Destinies and the Divisions and anthems and things like that, because you get a little bit of both. You can play single player and not feel bad, do a couple things and jump off. But the control is a phenomenal game. I definitely sat down, played quite a bit of the game. It's amazing. You just do yourself a favor, go play it.
Well said. Anything you want to add before we wrap it up, babe?
Nope.
All right, so this has been an amazing show. We're going to wrap things up. I'm going to do the outros here. I appreciate everybody in the chat for hanging out. Another fun time. Man, you guys are just having some great conversation in the chat. I love to see that. It's all positive too. No drama. We're just keeping it cool, talking Xbox, talking games. I love to see it. So we're going to start with 3-bit on the outros, and I want to know, where can everybody find your amazing videos and your content?
Hey guys, so you guys can follow me on YouTube. It's the Video Games HD, and on Twitter it's the VGHD. So I make all types of different videos on there. And you'll soon see all my behind the scenes stuff for like animation. So I'll be doing that soon.
Ooh, that's cool. You're gonna be doing some like drawings and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, I'll be kind of just talking about like what I do, different projects I've worked on, how it applies to the industry, all that cool stuff.
yeah, this is a man on the inside right here, guys. He keeps it quiet with some of his stuff, but I think he's secretly working on some pretty cool stuff that he just like can't say. Like he probably knows a lot
Doing
more
all
than
this,
he can let on. He probably
doing all
knows
this
what.
PTA talk. He already knows
Yeah,
what's going on. The whole lineup.
yeah. He's like, this is stupid. I'm sitting here talking about this stuff. I already know everything. I just can't say it. You know. But hey, he's just putting on a face. You know.
Yeah.
But no, he's a cool guy. Everybody, check out his videos. His videos are awesome. Really good, well-made, quality videos on his channel. All right, Mr. PTK Blam, the Shop podcast veteran. Where can people find you and your amazing content?
First and foremost, I want to say thank you for you, Mav, and your wife, for having me on the show this evening. Appreciate it. We had a lot of fun chat. You guys are freaking amazing. 3-bit. I actually just followed you right now, so you are on my radar. You now have to come on my podcast. You don't have a choice, my dude. You don't have a choice, my dude. So and Mav, you always know the door is open, brother. So you always Mav got a hall pass. So I appreciate you as well. But either way, you guys can find me, host of the Shop Podcast. Shop Podcast will be live tomorrow, 6 p.m. every single Saturday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Let me be exact, because people get it all screwed up. So yeah, I appreciate you guys having me here on the show. Mav, this is amazing. You're doing a phenomenal job with the podcast, brother. More good luck to you, more good graces, man. There's a lot more coming your way. So thank you again, man.
I appreciate it, man. And then we have Xbot448, another longtime podcasting veteran. He's got 2 shows, back-to-back nights. Tell everybody where they can hear your amazing podcast and everything that you have to say, Mr. Xbot448.
Nice. Well, Matt, first I gotta know, can I borrow that hall pass to the shop, because I haven't been on in a while, man, and I miss those guys, and I want to go hang out and talk games with them as well, because like I'm hopefully I got a job interview on Monday, and I can get off of these weekend the whole weekend job that I've been doing, and kind of get into something more Monday through Friday, so this way I can free it up and actually be on the shop. So we'll talk behind the scenes about letting me borrow that pass for the shop, bro. But dude, thank you for having me on, man. I had a blast, talking, of course, with PTK Blam, which I've known for a long time, man.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I could talk games with this dude for hours. I swear, like it's just a natural thing, man. Always love talking games with him. When it comes to 3-bit, dude, I added you on Twitter. If you could please add me back and we could get DMs going, man, we could talk about things and see what's going on. I know, you're already booked for the shop. You didn't
I know,
necessarily.
yeah, man. You got to get it in early. You got to get it in.
Yeah,
Early.
you didn't know that yet, but down the line there is a show called The Next Podcast, which is on my YouTube channel, and we would love to have you on as well. It gets a little crazy over there. You can ask Mav. It does. It does get a little very.
I get a little triggered in his chat sometimes, man. I have to admit. I'll be trying to pay attention to the chat, and then somebody will say something. I pay attention to the podcast. Somebody will say something in the chat, and I'm like, "What did you just say?" No, they can't have this. Throw my headset off.
I might have to make you a moderator, give you a wrench, man. So this way you got some power in my chat, because you're like, dude, don't say that. I saw that, man, and great job as well, man. But dude, I had a lot of fun. Again, small YouTube channel named Xbot448. I actually try to keep everything very, very simple. So if you want to add me on Xbox Live, it is Xbot448. If you want to add me on Twitter, it is Xbot448. Pretty much anywhere, if you want to see I'm there, you just type in Xbot448, and if I'm there, I will pop up. Mav, I had a blast, man, and I would love to be on again if there is a chance. If I didn't, I don't think I talked too much tonight, man. I kept it kind of conservative. I held it back a little bit, just for the fact that hopefully I can get an invite again in the future.
I don't know, man. Everybody on here right now is definitely 100% welcome back to the podcast. I'd love to have you guys. This is 3-bit's actual second time here because I love him so much. He was playing quiet with me on the DMs. I was getting worried. I was thinking he wasn't gonna be here, but no, he pulled through. He showed up, man. I appreciate it, dude. And then, babe, Caitlin.
Yes, honey.
Where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter at CaitlinX0615 and here with you on Fridays.
Yes. And hey,
I saw that pot roast, Caitlin. I've been holding that back. I've been holding on to that.
Yeah, we're gonna be playing Master Chief Collection tonight, everybody. What did we decide to call this thing, babe?
Oh, I have it in my notes.
It's like Ultimate After Party or something like that, or
Ultimate After Hours.
Oh, Ultimate After Hours, baby! Yeah, we're gonna be playing some games. We're gonna be playing Master Chief Collection tonight. A little bit right after the podcast is over. So anybody that wants to join us, hey, open party. It's open. Join us.
Gonna be a blast, guys.
Yeah, just don't play with 3-bit because he will headshot your ass to death. Craziness there. He's a pro. So
no, I actually have more fun when we play with him.
No, I agree. 100%.
Because whenever I kill him, like I feel really good about myself.
He's at least a positive, good sport when he's annihilating you.
Yeah, he definitely is.
So it's not as annoying, But yeah, I appreciate again everybody tuning in. We'll be here again next week, and then the week after, and then the week after, and the week after. Keep it going. Keep it going forever. Who knows? I'll be like 80 sitting here doing this podcast. Xbox Ultimate Podcast. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye, chat.
Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Peace out, everybody.
Later.